Yes, yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked. Yes, yes, we are back inside the three-point conversion sports lounge. Man, it's good to be back. But bad to be back under all of these conditions was going on in this crazy nation. It's sad, man. But we here to go ahead and give y'all the real, tell the truth, enlighten you, and then even, man, take your mind off some stuff, I won't lie, we're going to talk about what's been going on and what's been transpiring, but at the same time, we're going to have a little time where we take your mind off things, man. Like I said, it's been a crazy week, but crazy 2 weeks. Forget that, and but in a crazy year. But like I said, we have to talk about it, and I'm just glad to be back, though. Like I said, I'm glad to be back on the show. I thank you all for the support. The 3-point conversion for the last 2 days or 3 days, I think. We decided not to post anything about sports, just so we can keep the focus on the injustice and everything that's going on in the nation, and of course the shooting of Jacob Blake. And so we didn't post anything about sports unless it was bringing awareness to injustice, for our black people and brown people as well. So we appreciate the support. But once again, man, we're here inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge, and I hadn't said this in a while, but I'm your host, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? And of course, I'm not doing this by myself. I got my guy behind the scenes doing all he does, my man G. What up, G?
Yo.
And then I've got my road dog, my partner in crime, D Intellectual. What up, D?
What up?
Hey, man, besides everything else, how's it going? How you doing?
I mean, it is what it is. Just trying to stay positive, you feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. But like I said, I'm glad that we get the chance to be able to, talk truth and bring this up and talk about it and just give our opinions. You know what I'm saying? It's it's probably gonna have different opinions, multiple opinions, not necessarily different opinions between me and you, but people out there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll give them something to think about or what have you. But like I said, I'm just glad for this moment and this time. But we have a great show lineup for you. Of course, we have to talk about the what transpired this week, the boycott, and with the sports and how it affected what's going on in the nation. What do we think is going to happen? Were we shocked? Were we happy? Upset? Should have went on? We're going to talk about all of that. Also, we're going to talk about the NFL also getting involved. How will they get involved? Will they get involved? What will it take for the players to stand up? So we'll get into that. Then we'll talk about the playoffs, the NBA playoffs. They're starting back today, supposedly. So we're going to talk about the playoffs. How will this layoff affect the playoffs and the teams? who are we most impressed with, and so on. And then the NFL, I mean, I still don't think people realize football about to start in less than 2 weeks. So we're going to talk about that. It's crazy. I never thought NFL would take the back burner, but it should. But we're going to talk about that preseason and leading up to the season. And then, of course, we got Dr. Donnie Fowler on with Ask a Doc and talking about injuries going into the NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball and football. And then we got the What If segment where we're going to get a chance to sit down and talk to a player that's playing now, ex-player, whether he passed or not, and ask 5 questions. So we have some good ones. And Stop It, What's on My Mind, Quick Hits. So let your family and friends know they can listen to the show live locally on 1100 AM WWWE The Real in Atlanta. Also, we're on Facebook Live. What's up? The 3-Point Conversion Facebook page. Then we're on iHeartRadio Live right now. Tune in. Just look up WWWE 1100 and we're live. But yo, it is time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it.
Get it.
Shout out to Sharon Beats for the sick beats. All right, first off, I want to start off by saying, you know what, G? I'm gonna start off with that. I was gonna wait, but man, I don't know if y'all heard or saw that, but former NBA player, Portland Trail Blazers, he played for a few teams. Cliff Robinson passed away, and man, sad to hear he was real young. Very young.
My first time hearing about that, bro.
Yeah, bro, it just came out. You know, he was doing a lot in the league with the not in the league, but just period with the he opened up like a cannabis. You know, he had a cannabis business and helping people, treating people, and everything with that business, and he was a pioneer for that, actually. I think he was the first one to start that. But man, that's sad to hear. You know, your thoughts, D? I know you just sprung up on you.
Yeah, it just, when I'm reading up on it, looking up on it, like you say, he was doing a cannabis thing. Jim Calhoun said he was their first great player. You know what I mean? I just remember him playing against the Bulls and the Trailblazers, and he could kind of hit the three, but then go down low still. He was a big man that was hitting the jumper, so yeah. I think he was one of the first, man. So, man,
yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, he played in the league for a while, too.
18 years.
Yeah, man. So, shout out to Cliff's family. Our condolences go to his family and whoever he left behind. And, man, hate that. Moving on. So, the owner of the Major League Soccer team, what is it, Dale Loy Hansen. He's the owner of the Major League Soccer team, Real Salt Lake, and the National Women's Soccer League team, Utah Royals FC. He is under investigation for alleged use of racist language. He's been reported of having a history of making racist remarks. This comes after he made a statement after the players boycotted on Wednesday, and he came out saying that it was disrespectful and it made him question how much he wants to invest in the team. D. Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. He also said that I think that the stadium is working at like 5,000 fans because of COVID. Mm-hmm. He said he was not going to be inviting any fans back to the stadium. Right.
So he'll start cutting jobs again. And then, of course, he came back and backtracked. But now he's taking a leave of absence because there's supposed to be some racist remarks he's made. I mean, like, if you don't have nothing, my mom used to say back in the day, if you don't have nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. No. Man.
Here's my thing. You taking a leave of absence, bro? You own it. You own a team. What's your leave of absence? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like you. an announcer or something. And
you know they finna look into this.
Yeah.
Races with Mark, now it's gonna become an even bigger issue. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? That has become the I guess they think that's the all right. Well, it makes us look good when we say we taking a leave of absence. No, it don't. It makes you look suspect.
Makes you look worse.
Yeah.
It makes you look guilty.
Idiot. Right. Moving on. The Big Ten is discussing Thanksgiving weekend as one of several options to start its football season. So y'all gonna play 2 games? But anyway, an early January start with an 8 or 9 game schedule at indoor venues has generated the most discussion so far. But pushing the season kickoff to around Thanksgiving is also under consideration. The Big Ten on August 11th became the first Power 5 conference to postpone its fall football season, citing medical concerns related to coronavirus pandemic. The league's process concerning the decision has generated criticism from coaches, administrators, players, and players' parents, which includes, well, I'm going to go into this, 8 Nebraska football players filing a lawsuit against the Big Ten. Stupid. Seeking a reversal of postponement of the fall sports season and greater clarity as to how league leadership arrived at that decision. The 13-page complaint contends that the postponement should be overturned because it was an unjustified decision based on flawed and misapplied medical information and didn't follow established procedures in the decision-making process. The conference claims the lawsuit has no merit. Your thoughts on that, bro? On all of that?
The lawsuit has no merit. like that's how I feel about it, man. It's like if they trying to do it for the safety, you know what I mean? The way they going about it is, y'all can't tell us we can't play. But I would think that they could, right?
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like they felt like they did everything right so that they could play, and then they canceled the season. But okay, I mean, you could have been doing everything right, but not you could say individually you were doing everything right, but you can't say that for the entire team. You can't say that for all the other schools in the conference. Rutgers is in your conference, and I mentioned this a couple of times. They had 30 people test positive.
Right.
Yeah.
And other schools in the conference had tested positive when they started practice. Mm-hmm. So not everyone's following it. Yeah, y'all may be following it, but
not
you
every
can't
team.
say that for everyone else.
Right. So it's crazy, man. Like, I mean, sometimes the fact that the parents are getting involved, like, I understand the children, they're children. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes you don't think logically. I was just having this conversation. But parents, we trying to look out for your children.
Right.
God forbid, let one of them die. Then what? Then you're going to be suing us.
You're going to be ready to sue.
Yeah. Say it again, idiots. Moving on. So, former NFL players Kevin Henry and Najee Davenport filed a class action lawsuit alleging that the NFL deliberately manipulated cognitive function test scores to make it less likely that black players would receive benefits under the concussion settlement. The lawsuit alleges that the process of assessing cognitive function of former players seeking benefits uses race norming, which assumes that black players start with lower cognitive function. As a result, black players who has played professional football and who has potentially suffered cognitive decline because of it is presumed to have experienced less decline as a result of playing football, and thus is less likely to be eligible for compensation.
Oh my God.
So it's like, okay, they're already dumb. So if you play football, they're not gonna be. It's not gonna make a difference how dumb they might actually be.
Dumb.
Right.
So they don't need to be part of this settlement,
Bruh.
Systemic racism, man. Systemic racism.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is, bro. That's what it is. It's all coming out. I'm glad players are finally stepping out, and and we'll get to this on why and and everything. But
this need to be this topic, just that headline, need to be on ESPN. Need to be talked about.
Right.
Everywhere.
Right. Nah, I agree, bro. I definitely agree, man. This is crazy. Moving on, around 100 employees at the NBA League office in New York City went on strike on Friday to support efforts by NBA and WNBA players to promote racial justice. The employees will be making calls to elected officials. That was cool. I was proud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was dope. I know, especially after, what transpired this week, after seeing that and seeing how the NBA had their players back, I'm sure their employees felt a little more safe to do it, right? Even if they may have wanted to do it previously. Mm-hmm. Doing it in that manner at the time was like perfect. Like, hey, we're using that momentum to try to do it. So that was dope, man. I stand behind it, and, maybe getting to those elected officials and talking to people high up in the organization would definitely make some of those changes. I mean, yeah, definitely.
My question is, so I guess it's more than 100, of course, because I'm wondering, like, what's going to happen in today's game, like in the league offices in New York? What's going to happen if they need to go to do a review and they go to New York? Like,
it's probably people. It's probably not even people that necessarily do that, right? It's probably like, because you got to figure in the league office, they probably got mail clerks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They probably got,
right.
You know what I mean? Anything. So I'm sure they got that covered.
Okay.
And they probably off today anyway.
Yeah, but
they walked out yesterday, right?
Yeah, right. So yeah. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, the game is today, but and last but not least, Hall of Fame basketball coach Lute Olson, who built Arizona into a national powerhouse and guided the Wildcats to school's only national championship, passed away Thursday evening at the age of 85. Man, he was 589 wins. That's what he had, and 187. Like, he had so many wins, I can't even, like, he was 1,024. That don't even sound right. So he had 589 wins and 187 losses in 24 seasons.
That's a good record.
Yep, 23 consecutive NCAA tournaments, and he had 11 Pac-10 titles. So yeah, he was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2002 and the College Basketball Hall of Fame in 2006. So rest in peace, and our condolences go to your family as well.
Definitely.
All right, man, that wraps up Quick Hits. We're about to get to it. Again, I put in the chat. Please share. They need to hear this. This is going to be something they need to hear, we're finally giving our opinions. I don't think none of us really gave our opinions on the boycott necessarily. You know what I'm saying? You might have seen us talk about other stuff, but not necessarily the boycott. So stay tuned, because it's about to get good. Keep it locked.
Yes, sir.
Hey folks, Handsome Josh is here to reveal some big news to all the AM 1100 listeners.
I have an app.
That's right, you can now check out all your favorite programs right here on The Real with the Real 1100 app. Whether it's sports, entertainment, or lifestyle, the Real 1100 definitely has you covered.
So why don't you just tell me how much it's going to cost me?
And here's the best part. It's available in your Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's free to download.
Actually, you can count me in on this one.
So download the Real 1100 app today and stay in tune with The Real.
What's up? This is Vince Carter. You're listening to 3 Point Conversion. Check it out.
Get ready. From the oven to your ears, it's now time for the Hot Topic.
Yes, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And I'm your host, Mr. Controversy, with my co-host, The Intellectual. And this next segment is the Hot Topic. Look, we talked about the boycott earlier, and what happened Wednesday. First of all, we talked about on Wednesday how it was so ironic that the company in itself decided we're not going to post anything about sports. we decided Tuesday, and we said we're going to do it on Wednesday, unless it's bringing awareness to social justice or the social injustice that's going on, and what's going on with Jacob Blake, the shooting of Jacob Blake. And then around like 4 something in the afternoon or in the evening, we get the message that the NBA, that Milwaukee Bucks are boycotting. And then Orlando said they were with them, and then next thing you know, it was like a trend. And then we saw a domino effect. WNBA, they did it, which was dope with their shirts. Did you see their shirts, D?
Yeah, I did. That was dope.
That was dope. Then a few Major League Soccer games, all 5 games that happened was going on that evening, but was supposed to, they canceled. A few Major League Baseball games were canceled. I think it was 3 in all. And then Thursday, of course, no NBA games, a few MLB games. The shocker was NHL. Like, that was like, I'm not going to lie, that kind of shocked me. I didn't see that coming. Your thoughts on it, man, as far as not necessarily what you thought it did or whatever, but just what did you make of the whole thing? You know, I guess, what'd you make of the whole thing?
I think it was dope, and I think it was dope how it showed the NBA players how much power they have, but not only the NBA players, it was able to have a trickle-down effect and show the other sports leagues and teams and players the power that they have. I know it was kind of off the wall because Milwaukee didn't really discuss with no one, and they kind of had Orlando out there being there. That was the only little issue anybody really had. But even with that issue, seeing as how close Kenosha is to Milwaukee, that was a last minute thing. Hey, this is how we feeling. Like we can't go on with this today. We need to make a big statement. So I think it was dope, man. The statement that they released was impactful, was well thought out. George Hill had something to do with it. He's been in the league a long time. He played under Pop, so you know the type of dude he is. So I definitely think it was great.
G, you want to weigh in on this?
What I started thinking of, and I think you posted something, was seeing that the game started at 4 and it was like 3:55, and I saw someone tweet that the Bucks haven't come out in the court yet, and I thought of that Craig Hodges interview. Exactly. Where he talked about what goes on when players haven't come to the court, when he was suggesting the boycott of the 91 finals. And I was thinking, like, are they looking to boycott because you see the Jacob Blake news on all the networks, and this is something that's happened in their state, so it's on their minds.
All right.
And part of why you have the Black Lives Matter on the court and the different messages on the jerseys, even though they're in this bubble to play, that they're still trying to have some kind of connection to the outside world. So it's not like they could not be oblivious to what was happening, especially when it's in the same state. So it affected them enough to where they didn't feel right playing.
Right. Yeah, and I guess with me, I'm with you, G. The fact that it was like 10 minutes right before the game, which I love, and that's the first thing I thought of was Craig Hodges. And shout out to Craig Hodges. And it was like, and I understand that, it was brought up that they were all supposed to do it, I guess, later on to be unified, which I understand. What the mama say on Soul Food, if you ball up your fist, you got the famous somebody blow. I get that, but it was still dope for Milwaukee to do it, kind of just like, let's shock them. That's why we got to say anything.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Right. And I, like you said, I understand that. I understand, because it would have shocked everybody if they all would have came together too. It would have, but it still was just dope. 10 minutes before the game, all right, where they at? You know what I'm saying? And it was a scramble or what have you. Now, I'm going to say this, though. I will say this. It was great because it got the ball rolling. It got the ball rolling. We saw the domino effect. Like I said, I was shocked with NHL. I was disappointed in Major League Baseball because they didn't jump on it. But kudos to the teams that did. MLS jumped on it. Of course, WNBA, they real. Shout out to Naomi Osaka. That was dope what she did. She came out there. That was big for them. And the funny thing was, you had people like that where they said, you know what? I didn't like this part where the league was like, all right, well, we're gonna play the games later on. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I like the fact that Milwaukee did what they did, because because of Milwaukee, it wasn't like the NBA was like, all right, we're just going to cancel games. We're going to play it later on. No, they actually boycotted for real. But the fact that Naomi did that, then they had to cancel that tournament. I think it's the Western Southern tennis tournament, whatever it's called, Western Open. But they had to postpone the whole tournament because of that, because of Naomi. So that was dope. But I want to ask you this real quick, D. We said beforehand that we thought the NBA shouldn't have played, right?
Mm-hmm.
We thought
we said that from the beginning, right?
We said that from the beginning. And because of the tension, and we were right to a point where that the shooting of Jacob Blake didn't get any attention. Because everybody was focused. I saw it. I immediately started posting. You know what I'm saying? And other people were, but it wasn't enough. And therefore, because of the NBA playoffs, like you always say, people can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And then with the NBA playoffs being exciting, you probably tuned in. First of all, it's 500 games a day, so you tuned in to the playoffs, and you don't see it.
Yeah, but we talked about it. We was almost tired of basketball.
Yeah, man, it was an overload. So I actually I just started watching fourth quarters of games. I ain't gonna lie, it's like, man, I ain't about to watch this. It was the same stadium, same scenery.
Right. For people who are doing that, I would go to the NBA YouTube channel, and they got the highlights down to an 8-9 minute clip. I just watched that. I watched the game.
Right, yeah, you got tired of that. Because, look, somebody, we're going to get on that, but somebody, a team going to jump out to a 38-point lead, and then the other team going to come back. Tired, come on, man, we know that. But either or.
Even something even with that, being in the bubble, records are being broken that wouldn't be broke. It seemed like this wouldn't be happening if they weren't in the bubble. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and we're going to get into all that. But still, so people are consumed because they're watching the game, and then all this happened. So my question is, do you still feel like they shouldn't have played, or did that change after everything happened?
Well, I'm kind of on the fence about it, right? Mm-hmm. Because if they hadn't played, were they going to be out to protest? What were they going to be doing?
Right.
Jaylen Brown kind of said something. He was like, if we're not going to play, we know Jaylen Brown going to be out at the...
Right.
He would have came back down here.
Yeah, him in his box. Him in his box, yeah. But go ahead.
Right. But his question is, are other people going to be at the protest? Because we're not going to be out at the forefront, and we might as well be here playing.
Right.
Which I kind of can agree to, People are watching it. As long as they, but I also don't know what much more can they do, right? Just playing basketball or speaking during the interview and saying this and saying that, because now we know all about it. It's everywhere, right? So I don't know how much more they can do. I think there's other things outside of basketball that they could be doing.
Well, Well,
we'll get into that on the next.
Yeah. Well, what they did was it worked out because they called the owners. And
right now, that's the part that is
action.
good. The owner,
right.
like with Milwaukee, right? There was a bill that was dead, I believe, a police reform bill. Don't quote me on the bill, but some very important bill. Mm-hmm. It was dead in the water, and by the end of the night, it was back. It had its traction. It was at the desk for the governor to look at or whatever. Like, it's back because of the Milwaukee Bucks walking out on that game.
Right.
So it's working, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the NBA, like I said, they all had a meeting with the owners. Now the owners are getting involved. They're pushing this to where now all of the arenas are having the voting, you opening up for voting. So that's great. Then, two, look at it like this. I think I'm glad that that they came back to play. At first I was like, no, but the reason why I say this is because look how everything happened. I don't believe, let's say if they were out and they were protesting, it's great, they're protesting, but this got a rapid response or rapid reaction, because when they did it, for some reason, when the NBA do anything, the country follows. So
that's why I be telling people, man, COVID
right.
came and took over the country.
Exactly. So when they boycotted, and then, like I said, MLS boycotted, which was like, okay, I mean, they've been showing their, doing a just do, what I'm saying, in the beginning with George Floyd, rest in peace, George Floyd. But then you saw some baseball teams, which was shocking. Like I said, I expected MLB to be like they were, but the fact that some teams were like, forget it, we not playing. And you knew it was strictly players, not necessarily the league, which is great because that looks good. It shows, all right, that's a boycott. But with the NHL, bruh, like, so now you starting to get, and like I said, we tell the truth and shame the devil. We know NBA 97% black, as something like that, right? So, okay, MLS, no, but that's all nationalities. You know what I'm saying? MLB, we don't rock with them like we used to, but it's mostly your white Americans watching that, and your Latin Americans and everybody. NHL. about 4% black watch NHL.
No, that's high.
Yeah, I was gonna say it ain't even 1% that's actually
playing.
NHL stepped up more than I thought they would.
Right. So my point, right. So and then that start causing other people to see, okay, what's going on, what's happening. And sure, you're gonna get your people to get mad and upset. Whatever. We don't care. Okay. That's the whole point of it. But now what it might do is, and I'm hoping this, because you remember the Meek Mills. Remember what happened to Meek Mills. What happened with Meek Mills, next thing you know, somebody was able to talk to somebody else who was able to reach out to Robert Kraft. And we know Robert Kraft got that paper, and he up there where he know people, where he can talk to folks, like literally go talk to folks. When he did that, he went to go talk to people, and then what happened? Meek Mill's out of jail, out of prison. So now, if this happens, you getting the owners involved. Now you got these owners to talk to the right people because they're able to talk to people, and then maybe we start seeing stuff.
Yeah, they rub shoulders with them. These owners are billionaires, so they be with the governors. They be at the mayor's mansion. They be at these parties. They know prosecutors. They know attorney generals. The attorney general of Wisconsin came out that day and started speaking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when it started hitting big people's pockets. See, that's what people don't understand. People saying a walkout or a strike or whatever the case may be is meaningless. No, because it affects money. When it's affecting the billionaires' money, that's when it becomes a problem.
Right.
That's when they, you know what? Let's go ahead and make this. Yeah, let's go ahead and make this because because they can lose thousands, millions a day off of no playoff games.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So they not trying to lose that type of money, man.
Right. So I'll ask you this quickly. Do you think the boycott should have continued?
I think if they weren't going to be on the front lines at the protest or doing something way more, then it should not have continued. Mm-hmm. I think that they got their point across. Everybody across the board in the last 2 days is doing more than we've ever seen in history. You will know where you were when that boycott happened. And I think going forward, there's just going to be a whole lot of different changes amongst the leagues.
Right. No, I'm with you. I definitely agree.
I do got one more thing I want to say, though. What I would like to see, though, is possibly some of the NBA players, NFL players, maybe band some of their money together, come out with some programs within their communities, help get jobs in the black communities and things like that. Not saying they got to use all their money or whatever the case may be, but I think things like that would also help.
Or just use their power. Because I don't like to tell anybody to use their money to do something. That's their money. I can't say that, but I would like them to use at least their power or whatever. I do agree with that.
Okay, so let me not say money, maybe economic resources, right? And invest in communities for jobs.
I mean, just resources. Like just use their resources. Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to do it.
They may know other people.
Yeah, they may know other people. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to never ever tell anybody to do it, to do this with their money. But yeah, they're resources, right? And whatever they feel like that is.
Economic resources, you know what I'm saying? That ain't necessarily monetary, just the economic resources that they have.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but resources, economic, just whatever. But look, we're going to take a quick break. We're still talking about this. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna get on the NFL, talk about the NFL. All right? We'll be right back.
Or just 6. The staff here at Real 1100 AM would like to encourage you to social distance yourselves. While you may feel disconnected, you can always connect with us at real1100.com. So remain at a safe distance. Call, text, or email a friend and tell them to join you at real1100.com.
This is the Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk, and you're listening to 3 Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Once again, man, please share if y'all can. Everybody need to hear this. So, NFL. So the NFL, I think Thursday, you saw a few teams. It's funny because it started out with, was that Wednesday? Was that before the NBA decided to protest that?
I know. I think earlier that day, the Lions. Practice.
Yeah, the Lions canceled.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yep.
That was dope. And then they made a statement and all of that together. That was dope. Shout out to them. And then the next day, you saw 7 teams. I don't know all of them. I guess I don't want to say all of them because I don't know them for sure. But
I know one was the Washington team.
Yeah, Chicago Bears, Tennessee, Green Bay Packers.
I think the Giants.
The Giants.
The Jets had to.
Chargers.
Well. The Chargers.
Chargers. We missed one more team, but still, that was cool. That was good. But that's cool. But how else can they get involved now? Because we clearly know just what we know by history. The owner's not messing with none of this. It might be one owner. It might be Jacksonville owner, maybe.
Or maybe Kraft.
And Kraft, right. Those are only 2. Other than that, I don't we don't see,
Well, I don't want to say that because McCaskey, he's been trying to get some type of social initiative going together for the last couple of years. From what
okay, true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And even we just know with Jerry, if his endorsers say he can do it, he'd probably do it, or if they tell him to. But other than that,
man, I don't even want to talk to Jerry. Yo, he can go on, man.
Jerry be on. Jerry is all whatever his money can do. He good. Other than that, Jerry said he just see green. He don't see racism. He see green. But Jerry, yeah, man. So I don't see no one doing anything. So what can they do? Like, if somehow the NFL do get involved, like, do you think they make the biggest impact?
Who, the players?
Yeah, because they got money. Them owners, they have money.
Yeah,
not the players. I'm talking about the owners. Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, right, like, Saquon was saying, there's still a possibility he may sit out and some other players that may sit out. Do you know how easy it is for them just to let them sit out their game, don't say nothing, and just keep it moving?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's say some of the black players didn't play, like whether it was DeAndre Hopkins, just a few here and there. It doesn't affect it the same way, right? Even though Saquon is one of the top running backs in the league, or it has to be, I think with the NFL, it has to be those great white players, right? Like a Tom Brady or this person or that person, for it to have the type of impact that it has in the NBA and in other leagues. I just don't think that because it's so big, because it's so the players don't really have money, because if they miss a game or be out for the season, like some of the WNBA players like that or things like that, they ain't getting no bread anyway. So it's real different for the NFL, man. And
then shout out to Mike Patton said that Kenny Vaccaro statement was saying from the Titans, say he's not going to talk football in his press conferences during the whole season.
That's dope.
So so that's good. That's good. Do you think the players, because I know he was just talking, but still, I know what's his name, Saquon. Saquon said in his presser on Friday that it's a possibility that they are discussing about not, should they hold out or whatever, hold out in a game, the regular season game, the first game. Do you think the players have?
I definitely think it's a possibility.
Do you think
it'll be strong? I don't think that they'll do it. And it's not because I don't think the players will do it. I think just because of the way the NFL is designed. You know what I mean? Like things that they can do if you don't play. Like it's just weird with the NFL, man. It's just real weird. Like, will they get into what's in your contract? What are you doing in your contract that voids this or void that? You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, hey, look, if it did happen, I think if the players, they decided not to do it, I think it would get the owner's attention. Because right now the owner can say it's in your contract, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's a scare tactic. We know how it is. We've done it with people ourselves. Go, you know how we do. Go ahead, do it if you want. Watch what happens. As soon as they do it,
Mm-hmm. But you know what I think?
Go ahead. I was going to say it.
You know what I think about part of the problem is, though? Is that you see how it's the whole NBA? It's not going to be the whole NFL. You see what I'm saying?
That's cool.
Now, if they all can buy into it and, work together like the NBA, now that would be awesome.
But see, the thing with the NFL, though, is, I think, which is, I don't know, it has a different effect because if the right players do it, if say if Patrick Mahomes decided to do it, and two other people start to do it, that's going to be a big impact because now ain't nobody trying to watch the backup quarterback play.
Lamar Jackson,
you've already seen that it has to be stars,
right?
Like with you mentioning Patrick Mahomes, with that video that the players put together a couple of months ago saying Black Lives Matter, and Patrick Mahomes is in that video,
right?
Goodell came out with his video the next day.
Right.
So it will take the stars of the NFL to the ones that were it's the faces that we know. I mean, it's great what Kenny Vaccaro is doing,
right?
But who knows what Kenny Vaccaro actually looks like, to where that would have an impact.
What position does he play, Mike? Let us know that.
He's a safety. He plays safety.
Oh yeah. Safety.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like if we have him, like you say, he's good, he's cool, but also if who's I don't want to say who's garbage in the NFL right now that we like. Just any backup get up and say it's gonna be like
they're gonna get cut.
Okay, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
the
gonna get cut.
Problem, you know what I'm
and
saying?
everybody like, dude, you know.
It doesn't that they have to be like a garbage player. It's just like someone that's not
big,
name.
Not a household name,
like Kenny Stills.
Right.
I don't know what Kenny Stills looks like, but he's been in he was part of the protest in Louisville and got arrested. He was part of the, when Kaepernick was taking a knee, he was right there with him. So
and it's not a big you know what I'm saying? So it has to be a big name to do it or whatever. And if it's not, you're right, G. It's man. But if they do get one or two, then we know how it is. We see it in sports. It's a copy. We talk about NFL as a copycat league. Sports is a copycat organization. So I have them every time NBA do something, everybody follows. So if you do get a star player, matter of fact, you start getting other players. You know what? I'm with you, bro. You know what? I'm with you, bro. Then next thing you know, they're gonna be forced to. Because like I said, to me, I mean, I know it's easy to say from my end, but I really feel like owners, they selling wolf tickets. It's just don't do this or you know what I'm saying? I missed the controversy, man. It's like, man, we know how it is. It's like if you at a crib and your lady tell you, oh, okay, go out if you want, see what happened. And then you go out, now they sick and they hurt and they crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's selling wolf tickets, you know?
I think it's about if they can get an owner like Jerry Jones on board, then that changes everything.
Oh yeah, that'll be Jerry Jones. Robert Kraft already kind of marched his own, but but Jerry Jones, I think that would change, But like I said, you know how Jerry is.
Changing with Jerry.
Yeah, it's all about money. If the money's right, Jerry will do it. Jerry, one of them old school owners, man. It's just
good old boy, part of the good old boy club.
Yep. And I'm talking about good old boy where it's about money. That's all. You got some good old boys. It's good old boys, and they good old boy. No, we not having this. Jerry is about money. Let's keep it real. That's all he about. That's all he ever been about. So, because this is horrible. But all right, man, we're gonna take a quick break. It's gonna be time for our what ifs. We'll be right back. Don't want to miss it.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
Happy Saturday, sports fans. It's your boy Sherm, a.k.a. the Lord of the Beats, and you are currently inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with my man's Mr. Controversy, D Intellectual, and of course my dog G behind the boards. Cheers to the freaking weekend.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Real quick, D just told me, he just let me know that Naomi Osaka just withdrew. And she just won.
Like yeah, she was in the final, and she was something with her hamstring, and she backed out of whatever is after this.
Man. Sorry, we with you, though. We know who the champ is. You know what I'm saying? So we with you. All right, this is What If, and this is the segment where we get the chance to sit down with any athlete of any era, no matter where, who, what era, whatever, but we get to sit down, ask 5 questions. Nobody's there. We had a coffee table, just that, you know, hey, this is off the record. So we're gonna start with D. Go ahead, man. Who you talking to? And go with your questions, bro.
Seeing as though everything that happened this week, I'm sorry, I decided to sit down with Cap. Yeah. And one of the first questions I asked him is, I know that he thought it would probably be some ramifications, but did you think you would completely be blackballed and completely, like, career would just be ended? The second question I would ask him is, like, how did the entire stand come about? Like, what was the last straw? What happened? Like, because at some point I know what it was for me, right? It was when Trayvon, you know, got killed, and it just kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things. What was your changing point? What was it for you? Another thing I would ask him is, does he want an apology from Goodell in the NFL? You know, I know Goodell kind of sat down for a minute, but never really apologized. They didn't look at Cap things the right way. There's never been any type of apology. Well, you want an apology. Another thing I'd ask him is, how proud of the NBA and the other sports leagues are you from what transpired this week? Like, all of this could be directly tied back to Kaepernick kneeling, to him first standing up to police brutality and what's going on with people of color. And how proud are you of that? Another question I ask him is, because I know the answer, he said it, and I don't know why it always comes out like this. Do you want to play football? Because apparently everybody think you've never came out and said it, but do you want to play football? And then this is a tidbit I kind of ask him, in the back of your mind, do you just want to kind of say, I told y'all so? Or this is what I've been telling y'all?
Right. No, I'm with you, bro. Yeah, especially him, because he don't never answer none of it anyway.
Right.
Cap don't say anything. All right, my person I want to talk to is, believe it or not, I don't know, this is center I couldn't publicly say, Pat Ewing is one of my favorites. I always say he's one of my favorite centers, but this was my favorite center right here, and this was David Robinson. Thought David Robinson was cold, man. I always thought he was underrated. People didn't value what he did. But this is what I would ask him. When you first joined the Naval Academy, you were 6'7", and the height restriction was 6'6". Although you got a waiver to join, the next year you unexpectedly grew another 5 inches. This is at the age of like 19, he grew 5 inches, grew to be 7 feet. You were, which restricted you from serving on the ship. So do you think that was an act of God to solidify your career of playing in the NBA, and that you were destined to play in the NBA versus going on that ship? Because we know what we don't know what would have happened if you would have been on that ship, and if you would have had to stay there, or what happened. So I thought that was real interesting. I would also ask him, he was drafted in 1987 by the San Antonio Spurs, of course, but he had to go back and serve the last 2 years in the naval service. So he had a chance to re-enter the draft because he didn't officially sign. So it was his choice. But the Spurs offered him, get this now, he's a rookie. He hadn't played, knowing he wasn't going to play. So for the 2 years that he was out, the Spurs said they offered him the average of the two highest players in the league, two highest players paid in the league for each year. So he would get that each year, the average of the two highest paid players. He would get that each of the 2 years that he wasn't there. So, of course, he ended up taking that deal. If they wouldn't have offered you that, would you have re-entered the NBA draft? Especially the fact that the Spurs was the worst team, I think, in basketball. He coming in knowing he's not gonna play, and he got paid all that money, the highest. Basically, he was like the highest paid. That's crazy. I guess Spurs really wanted him. Then I would ask him, you played in the best era of centers and held your own against Shaq, of course, the Dream, Patrick Ewing, Zoe. Who was the player you hated to play against the most? Like, who was your toughest opponent? I know Shaq got the best of you. And, of course, we know Dream used to make you look silly. So who was it like, I don't want to play this person? Which one was that guy? And then do you feel like you don't get your just due when it comes to the best centers of all time? And although you won 2 chips with Tim Duncan, you won the 2 chips. He got injured in 97, which allowed, 96, 97 season, the beginning. He only played, I think, 8 games, which allowed him to get Tim Duncan. But I would ask him, does it bother you that you never won a chip as being the best player and leader of your team? Like, every year you won, first year y'all won, it was the strike season, and Tim Duncan won MVP, was a better player. And then last year you won, you averaged 8 points a game. So I hate that. Yeah, 8 points a game. And then last question would be, Shaq always said that you said no when he asked you for autograph, you told him no. And that was what, got him going. Then he came back and said he lied. He made that up. Like, why did you never come out and say that he didn't do that? Like, why did you hold your tongue? Why did you never just like, yo, he lying? And those are my 5 questions.
All right, the person that I would talk to, and I feel like it's very appropriate in these times, and he's everywhere. I would talk to LeBron, and he's kind of he's still the face of the league after all this time. So one of the things I would ask him about is kind of carrying the mantle of the being the face of the league for this long. Some people could say it's been the entire 17-year career. Some people may say, when he won his first MVP, he became that guy, or when they beat Detroit in 2007 or whatever. So I would ask him about, is that anything that you feel or think about as far as carrying the mantle? I would also ask him about being, we call them the 4-letter network, but I believe that on a lot of the shows on that 4-letter network, they are contractually obligated to talk about LeBron on their shows. Like, they have to bring him up in some way.
Now with Zion. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if they admitted the contract to add Zion, but to be that kind of player to where you're going to be in the news. Like, you can't be low key. They're going to talk about you, no matter how you played last night, or, what you bought at the grocery store. Is that something that you think about or anything you have to consider when you walk out of the house. I would ask him about encouraging other players and athletes as far as what he does off the court. Everyone knows he has his own school, in his hometown. He started an initiative with voter suppression. Where is it? Do you encourage other players to be active in that way, whether it's just with education or with voting or economics or business or whatever? How do you approach other players to get involved in something like that? And based on recent stories, what also I was asking him, does he see the generational gap now? Because apparently the story is when they talked about this boycott and he spoke, it seemed like other players kind of tuned him out. So is there a generational gap to where how he speaks is going to either intimidate other players or that what he says can be lost on other players, on younger players now? And the last thing I would ask him is, what does he honestly think he has left to accomplish? Because some people think, he's talked about chasing ghosts and he needs to win 3 more championships or 2 more to tie Kobe or anything like that. What does he honestly feel like he has left to accomplish in basketball? And what can he do to attain that?
I'll tell you. I know one of them. And he told me this, is that he want to play with his son. He said he don't know if it'll happen or not, but he said that's one of the things he want to do is play with his son.
You have to go straight from high school, right?
No, he played 1 more year and play 1 year in college. If LeBron stayed 4 more years, he could play 1 year in college.
That's at least 4 years from now.
Yeah, man. That's
right,
what
and LeBron, the contract was 4 years, right?
Well, I mean, he'll be a free agent by then,
yeah.
But
right, that's what I'm saying.
If Bronny goes into the draft, what is that?
Yeah, no, he can't come. Yeah, it'll be if they don't change rule, it'll be 1 year he got to play. But the 1 year, it'll be 4 years from now, and he felt like he could play. And he want to. That's one of the things. But before we go, I would definitely ask him. Did he kind of get? Was he salty, or was it a relief when the league started talking about Zion? More probably a relief. Now I want to ask Zion. Do you feel like
you need to
look? Do you feel like it's about to be a wrap? It's because Luka hit the shot. Now they about to talk about Luka.
You need to make them your next week,
right? But anyway, all right, man. That's What If. Good stuff. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and it's time for the Stop It segment. Crazy ones. Keep it locked.
Yo, you know what it is, your boy Snow, man. 3 points, baby, you know what it is, conversion, let's get it.
You are tuned into WWE AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Big ups to our Sports Lounge crew for keeping the airwaves blazing each and every Saturday. But I want to send another special shout out to our team of writers at the 3 Point Conversion. You can visit us at the3pointconversion.com. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. How about the Gram? How about iHeart? How about Spreaker Radio? How about wherever you need it, baby? We got you covered. No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. This is the time where we like to thank everyone who was supporting the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We appreciate you. And we ask you to continue to support us, but not only the show, but the 3-Point Conversion in itself, the sports media company in itself. We appreciate it. And now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yes. S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, D, it's on you, sir.
Yes. Man, when I heard these comments, man, it just, like, I can't rock with them no more. It's over with for him. I got to bring Brian Urlacher down to in front of the court to receive this stop it. He recently said Brett Favre played the Monday Night Football game the day his dad died, threw 4 touchdowns in the first half, and was a legend for playing. NBA players boycott the playoffs because a dude reaching for a knife wanted on his felony sexual assault was shot by police. And he also later on went on to like a post that called for the friend of the shooter, Kyle Rittenhouse. So, yeah, you got to take this stop it, Brian Urlacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, you...
That was...
The Bears already distanced themselves from him. Will you be welcomed at Soldier Field? Will you be welcomed in the city in the same way?
That was expected.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna wait. Go ahead, G. That was expected to get that.
Stop it.
Yeah, that stop it because
there was a delay there. People are calling.
No, that's all right.
All at the same time.
No, I was saying I just wanted to decide. That's cool. Yeah, I saw this coming, man. He's been, you know, I follow him on Instagram, and you know, you see when George Floyd happened, just the way certain stuff he was saying, it was like, yo, this dude is on that BS, and this dude got a half black son, so I pray to God his son not like that, you know. Which brings me to the next topic. Probably the greatest college player of all time, at least the greatest college running back of all time, Herschel Walker. Dude came out and spoke. First of all, the fact that, you could choose who you want. He spoke at the Republican conference, whatever. You know, that's cool. But this boy came out and said that Donald Trump is not a racist.
Stop it.
Can you get him another one?
Stop it.
Donald Trump is not a racist. Then he get mad telling me he lost a lot of friends over it. You darn right, you did. You know what I'm saying? And remember his son came out talking about Blake should be listed as a criminal. Like, come on, dog.
Stop it.
You know, so that's why I pray that Urlacher's son is not like him, and he's not teaching his son these stupid, you know, tactics and ways of thinking and how he should view the world. So, all right, G, it's on you.
All right, I got a couple of them, so give me a minute. All right, so first, Kendrick Perkins saying that Jordan wasn't doing anything at age 35.
Oh my God!
Did you watch The Last Dance at all? He was 35.
They won the championship, dog. That's why he wasn't. Yeah, because he was throwing champagne up. Go ahead.
Second, the Bills suspended their broadcaster because he mentioned where a player lined up in practice, saying someone lined up on the left side, and apparently you're not supposed to do that. That's a stupid rule.
Wait, what? Say it again.
He said such and such lined up on the left side of the defensive line today, and he got suspended for saying that because apparently you can't say where players line up in practice. That's dumb.
Stop it.
Thirdly, why is Dancing with the Stars talking to Carol Baskin about being on the show?
That was gonna be my stop at first. Because look, Dancing with the Stars rock with sports players and athletes. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what?
But y'all bringing Carol Baskin? Y'all desperate.
Stop it.
And lastly, Plaxico Burress has started an OnlyFans account.
What?
An OnlyFans account?
An OnlyFans.
What? I heard somebody say that. Don't they make you got to pay to do that or something like that?
Yeah.
You got to pay to look at it. It's for adults. Put it that way.
Yeah, because it came out. The lady she was like with one of the she was a cheerleader for one of the, I can't remember what school, Arizona or something like that. Black lady, she came out and she started one. It's like a lot of uproar about her doing that. Wow. It's
for
crazy.
Adults. Put it that way.
That's crazy. Yeah, because that's crazy, dog. That's crazy.
They need to get Kendrick Perkins out of here.
Yeah.
Man, look, that dude would be saying some stuff. You'd be like, what?
Yeah, for real. All right, man. So that concludes our Stop It segment. We're going to take a quick break. And I guess we bucking on. We're talking some sports. Talk about these NBA playoffs, man. What's going to happen? How's all this going to affect the playoffs now, the time off, and what's going to happen in the playoffs? Keep it locked.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
This is Mari Stoudemire, and you listen to 3 Point Conversion Radio.
Hey, man, we got to find that beat. I got to find that beat that you was playing with Sherm, with that Mari Stoudemire. That'd be hard. But we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And supposedly, the NBA is starting today. I'm just sitting on the edge of my seat because you just never know. You know what I'm saying? We got 3 Game 5s today. We have, what is it? Is it Milwaukee and Orlando? What is it, G?
Yeah, Milwaukee, Orlando, OKC
Portland,
and Houston, and then Portland and the Lakers.
All right. So, first off, I want to ask, do you think this layoff will affect the playoffs? And what I mean affect the playoffs is, do you think now a team that had OKC had a momentum, But now this layoff, Russ. I don't know if is Russ playing today?
He playing.
Yes, he's expected to play today.
Russ is playing today. I think he was going to play anyway. I think he was on the verge of. He wasn't going to play Game 5.
He was probably
this will be game 5.
No, but I'm saying before they
regularly scheduled.
Yeah,
it was
he wasn't probable. Yeah. It was probable.
Right.
No, I thought it wasn't
questionable.
It was questionable.
It was iffy, and
right.
then they had a scrimmage yesterday.
Right.
And they said he looked good enough to play.
Okay. Then you look at look at the not OKC. What was the Utah and Denver. Denver had just won, so they look like they got the momentum. They have the momentum, but this layoff, believe it or not, even with Portland and LA, because now it's talk that Dame might be able to play.
Well, he left.
He didn't.
No, he didn't leave. He didn't leave.
He didn't leave.
No, he didn't leave. He don't have to have
he
surgery.
Posted something that he was.
They said he's going to leave. Yeah, it was a report yesterday came out that now they're saying that he doesn't need surgery, and he's able to play. I mean, he might be able to play. So I don't know. They didn't say that he's going to play, but it's a possibility. So let's say if he did play, or even just the fact that now Portland is, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a wrap. LA had all the momentum. You know what I'm saying? But so, and then just with playing, people that was hot may not be as hot. You know what I'm saying? What do you think this will affect the playoffs now, D?
Yeah, I think. I'm still reading that he left. If he left, he ain't gonna be able to play no more. I don't know if he did or didn't, but if he left that bubble, it's over with.
I'm still seeing that he left and he went back to Portland.
Yeah.
Portland, right?
They said, the last report came out that unless he left, but they said he doesn't need surgery.
He with his family already.
Oh, yeah, okay. They said he's able to come back in the playoffs and he's able to play. Might be playing later. They didn't have a date, but just with the fact that all the teams that had a momentum and everything. It's no momentum now. Do you think that affects it, or do you think it's but these game 5s, it's a wrap, the team's going to win?
I mean, if there was any momentum, I think it definitely affects them, right? But I don't think it just affects them. I think it kind of affects everybody just because what the pause was for, right?
Right.
Everybody's mind is everywhere now. It's everywhere now. So I know momentum helps teams like the Nuggets and who else had just won? The Thunder. But the Thunder and the Rockets, we expect that to be a good series anyway. But that Nuggets, I think that could be huge for them. But again, we in this bubble, man. To me, this 3-1 don't even mean nothing as of right now because we in this bubble. I mean, it means something with the Lakers and the Trailblazers. But when Utah was up 3-1, now that it's 3-2, man, that's still a wide open series, man.
True, but Denver had a momentum. They had just won. Denver feeling good, and they still feel good. But that hangover is not on Utah now. It's man, we just lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Utah's okay. It's new. Let's play. And like you said, it could go both ways. Even with, I think OKC had a momentum because they were winning, and
they
beat them
2 in a row.
2 in a row, and they up. It's tied 2-2, right? But now Russ is back. No moment. It's
that's who I definitely think impacted more than anything. That OKC.
Yeah.
Russ come back and they do that But again, it could work to OKC's advantage because Russ may want to press the issue, and then there's less threes. So I mean, I guess we'll see shortly.
But even if with players like Paul George got his mojo back, but now he sat out. You look at Donovan Mitchell was playing all world. Now with Clippers, okay, we know Porzingis is out for the series, but Luka, he might have healed. That gave him extra time to heal. They already beat him without Porzingis. I'm just saying just things like that you got to take in effect. So, speaking of those players, what one player has impressed you the most in this bubble?
So it's
Just
probably gonna
one.
be for a lot of people.
But one. Just one. You got to pick one, though.
Dante.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was already saying this about him. And I'm like, man, get a kid, you know what I'm saying? Get off of him. Give him his time. Let him do what he do. And stop trying to make him be this, right? But it's something that I can't remember who pointed out. This isn't second year Luka no more.
Nah, this Kenny was saying that. This is third year. Yeah.
Luka.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. He has really shown me. I wish somebody, just anybody. Well, Clippers played defense the last game. Just somebody play defense. The Lakers not playing defense. He get to the hole and they just stop. Like, just play some defense, please. Somebody.
Right. Go ahead, G. Who would you say?
Man, I would say that's a tough. I mean, I like Luke. I would say Lillard, only because we saw, like, I think a lot of people got to know more about him because Portland's not a big market, and we saw him carry that team to the playoffs,
right?
And up into a game one win. And I think that maybe the Lakers have caught up to him, or people think that, oh, you can't hit those logo threes forever. But just to see that, I feel like he's gotten more respect now. And it's not, I mean, it sucks that he may not be playing for the rest of this season or this playoff series. They're close to being eliminated, but I think he should definitely have more respect as a player. And we saw him carry that team and how good he actually is, and I think the rest of the country got to see it.
I think what happened with him is the Lakers are like you got to be more creative, and like other team was letting him just come down and do it on his own, and the Lakers like, nah, dog, we're not gonna let you do it.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know mine is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, the way when he the fact that he's leading his team like that, and every play is being ran through him, and this dude is like nonstop. Like the most impressive game, when he scored 57, that was crazy. To me, the most impressive game was when he scored 30, like 31. He had like 10 points at half or 8 points at half, but he was like dishing the ball out. Like the ball was flowing, and then second half he's like, fourth quarter, let me rev this up. And I think he hit 21 in the fourth quarter, and for him to finish with 31 or 34 points and like 10 assists or whatever he had, it showed how much he's controlling that game. He can't be stopped. Now, if we want to add players that, what are other players, man, we have to mention Jamal Murray. Good Lord.
Oh, man.
I think that series I might watch both games. I mean, the whole game or most of the game because they're going back and forth.
It makes me wonder, is Mike Malone holding him back? Because
right.
The Denver needs a go-to guy. Jokic can only do so much. So it should be Murray, but it's like we haven't seen this kind of explosion from him yet. And until now. So
right.
But
is the coach holding him back, or is it the offense, or what's going on?
Like you said, is he holding him back? Because we've seen glimpses, right? We saw that 50-point game he had. We saw him go off for 30 and do this. Is the coach holding him back because he's trying to only go through Joker? Or what is it? You know what I mean? But, we're going to probably find out if they had a guy, they get put out today or tomorrow, whenever they play, we probably going to find out.
Right.
Because I don't know if Mike Malone going to stay there.
Right. Well, I just know this. Like you said, it's bringing a lot of people out because you're starting to see, okay, these players can really play. I think now, next year, Malone would say, even if he was holding him back, we won't be holding him back anymore. You know what I mean? Right. The way he playing, with Donovan, his stock and went up. Good God, that dude, I don't know, man. It's even Jordan Clarkson, man, been balling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still iffy on a Jordan Clarkson. He's gonna come in and put up shots. That's what he does.
No,
but he's been balling, G.
He's like a Lou Will.
G, he's like Lou. He's been balling like
dollar store Lou Will,
or just like Lou Will. But he's gonna come off the bench. He can get
but
20.
He was
25.
But I'm telling you, he giving buckets. Yeah, he's giving buckets like every game. Like he's instant score. Like if he accepts this, he can be like a Lou Will. If he accepts, because I'm like UG, I had never seen him play like this. But man, that dude is a beast. Now, going to this Mavs series, Kristaps, he's out. He's out for the rest of the series. But again, we saw what happened in Game 4. Do we think the Mavs can actually win this series still if Luka is healthy?
No.
I
think that game where Luka did all of that was one of them games where the Clippers went up and they were like, dude, Porzingis not here, Luka can't do it by himself. And not to mention, they was missing everything. Like they couldn't hit nothing during that run when Dallas came back. I think it was the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that the Clippers have buckled down and showed that they're a championship caliber team. I think they're going to wrap them up when they play tomorrow.
No, they play tomorrow. They play tomorrow.
I think they're going to wrap them up tomorrow.
Defensively, I just don't think they have enough to stop the Clippers. That's the thing. I don't think anyone has, but it's going to be hard when Paul George is playing like that. That was the missing key. Like, even though they got all the scoring power, and then you got to understand too, what's the name wasn't getting off too. Like he finally got in rhythm. Montrez was out too. So, and he wasn't playing as well. He was trying to get his rhythm back.
Even in that game, Lou didn't even do nothing.
Right. No, yes he did. It was
he had like
30.
12.
No, he had 30. No, he had. You talking about the game when they lost to?
No, when they blew them out.
Oh yeah, he didn't do it. Right. But I'm saying right. But that's what I'm saying though. But now you see Montrez, then you see Paul George. I think that that helps Clippers out, and this shows why they're so dominant. And you can't stop them. But before we go, I gotta ask you this. You mentioned this before. Chat room, everybody listening, radio, whatever. Do you believe the bubble has enhanced stats for the players? Like, do you think it's because like everybody's talking about Luka and what he's doing. Luka's balling. But at the same time, Luka not getting these stats on the road in a regular season game.
Well, because they're not traveling, yeah, that's part of it. But I think also because of the continuity of whenever you have practice and everything, the offenses are better. Sometimes with the defense, you can lean on, well, this team has traveled for a while, or they're tired. You can kind of lean on that defensively. But now I think whoever organized the defense on these teams, they have to step up because the offenses have gotten better because of the continuity of not having to travel.
I think also, though, I think the fact that it's because that bubble, you don't feel like you're playing, it's more like a pickup game. Like Kenny them kept saying, yeah, this is what you're used to when you coming up to play. This is all they played in. So now it's no fans, it's really no pressure in a sense. And like the players stop playing defense, like it's wide open. It's
right. like I think a lot goes into it, right? Like y'all said, the travel. You don't have dead legs. You're not going across one place to another to play. Like you're already here. And now the games are like, it's a game, you off one day. It's a game, you off one day. It's a game, you off one day. You're not going to nobody home. You're not going to American Airlines Arena in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Clippers, you know what I mean. You already in a rhythm. You are already.
But that defense been horrible though, dog. It's been no.
The defense has been horrible too. But I I think what, like he was saying, that the offense has been so good. I think that the offense has been so good because they probably studying so much and able to just do it and play. Like, I think that not having no fans is a real big impact because they're not loud. They're not loud when Luka had the ball and the Clippers were up 2, and you know what I mean. Like, the fans would have been tearing the Staples Center up.
Well, they would have been in Dallas at that point, but I think it's more. I think it's more that. Well, you make a good point. Then the fact that that's about to change now, but in next week. But the fact that the players, no family.
Yeah.
You know.
Focus on basketball. That's it.
Yeah, like ain't nobody. We don't know. I mean, because you got workers there, so you know we don't know who. But anyway, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, man. So, all right, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna talk some NFL. We'll be right back.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app. iHeartRadio. Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
This is Peanut Tillman, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right. The Porter's there and all that. But all right, man. So we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
I had a Paul George joke, but I don't think I could tell it on the air.
The NFL, like I said, man. Hey, y'all. How many Damien, if y'all in the chat room, Damien funny. But how many of y'all knew that the league last week, that the league was 2 weeks away? Or how many know now that, really thought about the league the season is about a week and a half away?
Yeah, I thought about it, I think, in the middle of this week when they started talking about everything with the protests and things. Like man, it's 2 weeks away. Like, dude, what the NFL going to do?
Bruh,
you know what I'm
I'm not
like,
even in NFL mode, dog. Like,
yeah.
And I ain't talking about just because of what happened to Jacob Blake.
Right.
Shoot, you know what happened? What happened?
You gonna wake up. You gonna wake up and the game's gonna be started. Just because ain't no playoff started, it's gonna be Thursday. When it starts Thursday night, it's just gonna be a game. Or you gonna be like, wait, what?
Because you know what happened? What happened is the fact that because they was going through the protocol and the way they was doing things. So if you turn the NFL Network and you're watching, shout out to NFL Network. I shout them out, man. I like them. But you turn to them and they're talking about training camp. All you saw was Michael Irvin with his he needed a cut. I know I need a beard, but his fro was kind of like, I guess he's glad he's growing it. You saw MJD. They just talking like, bro, what is this? I want to watch the players. So by the time they start practicing in pads, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
You got 24/7 NBA basketball.
Yeah. So you forgot.
So you forgot about that. Nobody hadn't paid attention to NFL training camp since. And now they took the game by the start. And then, we're so used to having preseason football to get us hype, to get, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, it's right around the corner.
No one is more excited that there is no preseason football than
Deshaun. Oh, I thought it was Deshaun. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Deshaun, football in general.
Right. But
preseason football, I hate it. I can't stand it. I'm glad I don't have to hear so much about how many interceptions someone threw in practice, like it matters.
Well, you know what? You say that, I feel you, but
wait till you see these first 2 weeks.
I was about to go to my next question because after these first 2 weeks, you're gonna be like,
those count though, but those count.
True,
those interceptions count,
but it's gonna be some horrible football, man. Like how bad do you?
To the next question, like you said.
Yeah, how bad do you think this is gonna affect the season? Like how many games do you think it's gonna take for the players to get in to start playing?
Look, it's going to take at least 2 weeks, man. It's going to be ugly for 2 weeks. We're going to be watching some football. But, I know that some are going to be great. They're going to do what they do. But I think these first 2 weeks, it's going to be some struggle football going on out there, man.
Bruh, like, you're going to see.
Let me say this, too. It also depends on how the coach goes about it, right? Because, I always say the Bears or whatever. But let's just use the Bears as an example, right? If the Bears go out there and really play their first-team offense against their first-team defense and play for real, then maybe they can come out the gates kind of like going against a hard defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like teams like that will have an opportunity, but teams that don't go in like that,
but they don't play if they're not tackling like they should.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they don't. Just think about it. Don't be surprised if the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm calling it here. Cincinnati Bengals starting 3-0. You know why? Because everybody gonna be garbage when they play. It's gonna be level playing field. Tampa Bay. Come on. The fact that you hadn't seen Tampa Bay, you don't know because they got so that might be an advantage for them. But man, they're gonna be rusty. They're gonna bruh. This
overall, I think overall records are gonna be real different this year.
We saw it last year. The first game, the Sunday night game against the Packers, and or was it Thursday night? The Thursday night game with the Packers and Sunday night. Packers and Green Bay and the Bears. I mean, that game was horrible. Both teams played. Everybody want to talk about how bad Mitch played. Rodgers played horrible. He played just as horrible. The score was 10-7 or 10-3. It was horrible. Like, and it took Packers like 3 weeks for them to get in the, so. So man, if y'all. I know myself. I got to prepare myself because I know I'm gonna be throwing stuff at the screen and all of that because I know it's gonna be some horrible football. I got to put it in my head. Bro. It's gonna be horrible, bro.
And I wanted to add is I think that teams that have that's why I kind of disagree with you about Cincinnati. But I think teams that have brought in a new quarterback are going to struggle. Whether it's a rookie starter or free agent or whatever. I think they're going to struggle. So we may see Tampa Bay, New England, Cincinnati,
1 and 2, things like that.
1 and 2, and you're going to hear about them like all week, all day.
Defense is going to be looking good,
and depending on the defenses that play those new quarterbacks, they're going to look good, and they might get overrated. So it might take 4 games for teams to get
back to normal.
Yeah.
Now the shift to fantasy. You might want to get defenses depending on if they playing new quarterback.
Right.
I might do like D said. I'm not picking a defense until because I'll be switching. Oh, Cincinnati playing Tampa. I'm picking Cincinnati's defense because you're right. Now, it's only been one player that's in the coronavirus protocol list right now. Do you think this can actually work? Because so far it hadn't been. We hadn't seen players be affected.
Only one person has been said they got corona.
There's only one, in a protocol list. I don't know if they had corona or not, but they just in the protocol. Only one person right now. Last week they tested no one. It came back. No one was on the list. No one.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we talked about them and they couldn't do this, but man, do you think this can work?
It's working, but they also haven't started hitting nobody yet.
We can't talk like that on the radio show. Oh, you talking about playing
and stuff.
Oh, right. Oh, hey man, what you talking about? Right. Cause I'm thinking too, and they're doing that amongst each other. So I mean, they're still playing with pads.
What's their plan though? Like, do they after the game on Sunday, the guys just go home?
I don't know. And that's
like,
and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. That's the thing that I wonder, because if let's say if they're traveling, and see, now you got to worry about hotels, and then if they're gonna St. Louis Cardinals it, you know what I'm saying, and all of that by going to kick it and all of that, going in the lobby, you know what? When that comes in effect, what is that going to do? So,
right.
But I will say for whatever they're doing right now, it does look like it's working.
Man, the NFL run stuff, they could be lying. They run the country, man. I told people, NFL, look, what do people, NFL come on Sundays, right?
Right.
That's how I explain to somebody. You know the NFL is almost more powerful than the church, because don't nobody go to church on Sunday because they watching the NFL. As soon as the NFL off, people start going back to church. Come on, man. These bugs, hey, they can fudge it a little bit. I don't think they is, but I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know, man, but it's been shocking. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens, and maybe that's why Big Ten is like, maybe we can, or maybe they're scared to get sued. But either way, maybe they're like, maybe we can start seeing what they're doing. It's gonna be, but it's on contingent on what the NFL do and how they respond, you know, when it comes to this. So, but all right, man, we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back. Don't go anywhere.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
This is Charlie Batch, 15-year NFL veteran, two-time Super Bowl champion, and you are listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And we have family in the house. We have cousin Dr. Donnie Fowler III, orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. What's going on, sir? Doc, where you at? I guess he hung up.
Sorry, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. My bad. Happy Saturday, guys. Good to see you.
Man, we was about to leave you. We was about to take off on the road. No, I'm just kidding. What's going on, Doc? How you doing?
No, I'm just at a work conference trying to learn stuff. But
you see how he is. Nothing. I'm just doing brain surgery right now. Hey, give me that. We appreciate you, man. It's been a crazy week. The sports now is starting to, I guess come back, but it's a lot of stuff going on. So we just got word, Damian Lillard, he did leave, but they said that he doesn't have to have surgery. It's a sprained knee, and it's not as serious as it is. And it said that, that I guess if they would have beat the Lakers, he could have came back to play. I don't see that happening now, but somehow could he have, because he's gone now, do you think with a sprained knee he could have played, came back to play? Because I know they was worried about it might be more serious than anything, and that's why he left the bubble, and they decided for him to leave the bubble, I think, before they even did the boycott. So how serious is it, and could he have played on it? I mean, later on, like a couple of games later?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's obviously good whenever you hear somebody doesn't need surgery, but it was serious enough for him to have to leave the bubble and see the medical experts. And I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, a minimum 4-day quarantine period if he does, or if he was able to come back. So obviously in the bubble in the world that they're playing in, it's not as simple to go see a doc and be cleared and come back and be able to play right away. So obviously he's out, and unless I think they need a few games against the Lakers to really advance. So I mean, I think in the real world he's probably day to day and could consider playing, but at this point, with again having to come back, quarantine for 4 days, and my guess is that they're not going to win against the Lakers. That the season's going to be over anyway. And honestly, in the long term, I think that might just be better for him, just his overall health, not to try to rush back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Washington Nationals right-hander Steven Strasburg has carpal tunnel syndrome in his right hand, and they're questioning if he will pitch again this season. Just a little background information on what carpal tunnel is and how serious it is.
Stop trying to be odd. What is that, man? That's what I want to know. What is carpal tunnel?
Oh, you don't know? Oh,
I don't know. What is? I've heard of it, but
usually for typing.
Yeah, so I mean, this as the DC guy, this one hurts me a little bit, and kind of a weird one for baseball because carpal tunnel, it's a nerve issue. Most of the time, when you're talking about baseball players, it's usually not the carpal tunnel, it's the ulnar nerve, or like anyone ever hits their funny bone and feels that shot going down their arm. That's the one that we normally see in pitchers when they have elbow issues, is that ulnar nerve. The carpal tunnel nerve is actually the one down by your wrist, and it's where that nerve kind of gets pinched and irritated, and it causes numbness and tingling more on the thumb side of your hand, and can actually affect your grip and ability to grab a ball and pinch and do stuff like that. So it's certainly a legitimate thing. It's, again, very rare to see it in a baseball player, but in this case, yeah, it affects his ability to hold the ball and put spin on it and everything else. So it is, I guess, fortunately, a pretty straightforward procedure to just go in and basically free up the nerve so that it's not being irritated, but it would take at least, a month or so to kind of really get back to where he could start throwing again. And with the shortened season, obviously that basically means he's done for the year, but there shouldn't be any lingering issues going into next season for him.
All right. And so I want to go to football. AJ Green has been sidelined with a hamstring injury. I don't know if he's back yet, but I know you like what's new. But is this due to his ankle injury that he had last year? Like, would that cause for his hamstring to, be affected?
Yeah, never want to label someone injury prone, but AJ Green's starting, all right, I think well past becoming one of those players with all the foot and ankle stuff initially. And certainly, we always kind of say everything's connected. So depending on how you're rehabbing, if you're favoring, somewhere higher up in your body to offload your ankle and your foot, certainly that can lead to knee and hip and hamstring issues and things like that. So hard to say if it's, directly related or not. Certainly a lot of wide receivers tend to get hamstring issues, especially early in the season as they're trying to work up to game day conditioning. So I think it's obviously something to keep an eye on. But if you're talking in the fantasy football world, I'd probably kind of stay away from AJ Green just in general this year.
Message.
Jeez, AJ Green, man. And Cleveland Browns wide receiver Kevin Johnson sustained a laceration to his liver last week and was admitted to the hospital. How serious could this be, and what is the timetable for his recovery?
Yeah, so this is another unique one. You don't really hear about liver lacerations very often. I think there's been a couple kidney lacerations, a couple spleen injuries, but kind of internal organs. It's pretty rare in football players or in any sport. But of course, that's it's a serious issue in general. Now, I think the good news is his was deemed relatively minor. He was out of the hospital pretty quickly. Doesn't have any significant internal bleeding, so they have him listed on a week-to-week basis. Obviously, they're not going to rush him back right now. I think it's feasible for him to be ready close to the beginning of the season, but my guess might be week 2 or 3 that he's really back out there. I think they'll just be cautious. Fortunately, though, I think in this case it could have been worse, but he should be fine as long as they take it slow the next few weeks.
All right. We definitely appreciate that, Doc. Man, stay safe and healthy and keep doing that good work. And we will talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones, a Sucker Free Life double LC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-Point Conversion, where no team or no player is off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
All right, this is What's on Our Mind. This is where we like to get a few things off our mind. Of course, there's a lot going on, sports. I'm going to make mine quick because we're against the time. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. So the NFL, they're coming out with something called like social content, and they're going to bring out like week 1 and to I guess talk about awareness and everything. So, and they're going to pick 2 articles. Why the first article is the one, and hear me when I say this, with Bruce Arians when he was talking about protests. We don't need to, like, what is protesting going to do? Whatever, boycotting. Which I understand what he's saying. He's basically trying to say, like, he's saying we need to put action in it. I feel that. But then the second article, because remember they're going to pick 2. Why is the second article, of course, with the Packers, I can't think of dude's name, but he's talking about boycotting won't bring any change. So do y'all see how they playing that out? And, they think they slick. And that's why, as much as I love the NFL, I love the game, you know what I'm saying? But watch it. But they be on this BS. And they're taking, they try to take what Arian said and make it as if he's saying don't boycott. Arians is not saying that. Arians is more speaking on just we need more action. If the boycott is going to lead to action, I'm with that. Because he used to do it. That's what he was with. He was protesting back then. But then they pick out, then the other guy talking about boycott won't make change. But they're trying to make it as if we don't boycott. They're trying to push that narrative. That's that BS, man. And that's why the players need to have a mind of their own, and I pray that they do. Again, I'm going to continue to say it because I'm proud of my guys. I'm proud of us, the fact that a lot of people always came to us and was like, look, people challenge me. You talk about the NBA shouldn't play or whatever. What are you going to do? The first I kind of got like, what you mean what I'm going to do? Like, I got kind of on my look. But I heard them. That's why we decided, we not posting sports. You know what I'm saying? But it's a sacrifice. Now, I didn't possibly could have lost money. It probably did. I don't know. But I probably lost fans or whatever. So what? The cause is much more than that. And I'm praying and I hope that the players understand this. And whatever they do, they come together, but they do it to where it's going to cause change and cause action. So if they feel, which I believe that if they boycott, this will be big because we've never seen the NFL do this. Players don't do this. Cap took a knee and that was big. If he just took a knee and everybody went crazy, what it would be like if he decided to boycott or some player decided to boycott. So NFL, boy, they do sneaky, but that's crazy, man. That's what's on my mind, man.
Yeah, that definitely is crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and say something real quick. I know we don't got a lot of time. You still think this is about against the military or disrespecting a flag, and you can't really see what this is about? You don't want to see what it's about. Number one, and number two, I know we've given them props, but I don't want to say they haven't gotten a lot of props. But I do want to make sure that the WNBA women get as much props as they can for the things that they've done. I don't want to say they've been doing more things than the NBA, but they've been doing things for years, bringing social awareness to a whole lot of issues. So I definitely want them to get their shout out. Yeah, they do, and they league support them. Yep. So I mean, I think the NBA shows support, but I love the fact that the WNBA really supports them, and you got to think about it. They don't make any money compared to what everybody else is making. Yep. I think at one point the average salary was like $40,000 a year. It's that 35. That's why they be going overseas. Yeah, but they're like they work 2 jobs. They don't get no off season. No, and they're like, whatever. This is what we stand for. So, but again, man, it's just funny how with Urlacher and everybody, like I said, the truth, when the truth comes out, and when I say the first truth, I'm talking about with what the police is doing and the systemic racism and oppression and all of that. When that is shown and the truth is shown, is coming out, then it brings out the truth, which brings out the truth in people. They can't help themselves. It comes out. It's like a magnet. When they see all this stuff, all that racism, all that hatred comes out of their souls. And that's what we saw in Urlacher and everybody else and people that's not athletes. So, but hey, man. But anyway, you hear this music, it means it is time to let you go. But before we let you go, we have a couple of shout outs. And stay tuned because you might be one of them. First, I want to give a shout out to the Almighty God for giving me this platform to do what I do, say what I say, to keep me safe and alive, to keep my crew safe and alive, my family and friends alive through this crazy time. But just allow me to make people mad, upset, happy, want to give me the stop it button. God, I appreciate it. And I want to thank our sponsors, Ortho Atlanta. I appreciate you all. Thank you. I want to thank our guest, Dr. Fowler, for coming on. But he's family. I want to thank G. Appreciate you, G. And my co-host and road dog, The Intellectual. Absolutely. I just want to thank everybody, like you say, for always listening, being a part of what we got going on. Stay diligent during these trying times. I know 2020 has been crazy. Make sure you get out there and vote or it's going to get worse. Everybody keep asking what can happen next. Don't vote, you will see. Yep. Real quick, shout out to my beautiful wife, lovely children, all my cousins, aunties, uncles, nephews, nieces, sisters, brothers. Who else I got? I think grandparents. And play cousins.
Love family, love on family, let family know you love them. You just never know, especially if you're black. You never know what's going to happen. But with everybody, love them, family, let your family know that you love them while they're still alive, while they can deal with it. Also, stay healthy, make right decisions, eat good. Sports, so you can watch some sports if you want. That's how you feel. Till then, same time next week, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Will you miss me? Peace. You just got done listening to the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3 Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
What it do, baby?
How dare you?
You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today.